Welcome to Hot Take Thursday, where Andrea and I answer a listener question related to the episode that we released on Tuesday. Just a reminder, we may not always be right, but we certainly have an opinion. Hey, how you doing, Andrea?
I'm good, Jess. How are you?
I'm doing good. Okay, so we switched it up a little bit this week. We usually take a listener question, but instead, we decided to post in our Honest Women podcast community group. Just a reminder, if you have not joined, join. We'd love to see you in there. So we went ahead and asked our community what they thought about exercising or what it meant to them. And Andrea, you want to read us some of the responses?
Yeah, I thought that these were great because they really hit on some of the challenges that I think we all face when we're thinking about exercise. So I asked the question, what do you do these days for exercise? Has that changed over time? And how do you fit it in? And this is the first answer, which I loved. House clean. I used to run, but then I got kids.
Oh.
Yeah, let's hot take on this.
House cleaning. I mean, that is a form of exercise. However, that is not, don't give up running.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to because of my knees and I just peed, but from having the babies, it's true. But I think that I hear that so often.
Yeah.
I used to, and then I had kids. And then women, moms, putting themselves behind everything else, the house, their kids, their spouse, everybody. And it becomes, I just can't do it anymore. So I clean my house, and that's how I exercise.
Yeah, I want to say that I resonate with this in a lot of ways because I want to count every single ounce of effort that I have as exercise. And in fact, I had a little meltdown yesterday because I was leaving my office. I knew I was going to go home and mow the lawn because I was not feeling energetic enough to exercise, but the lawn needed to be mowed and that counts.
There you go.
So I had charged my watch and with the express purpose of knowing exactly how many steps that I took outside. Got to get those steps. And then I realized as I left my office with bags and all, I just had hands full and went halfway across the parking lot, across the street, that I had left my watch in my office. Ooh. And I was standing there in the 90-degree heat with my arms full and going, I don't want to go back and get my watch. Can I function as a human without knowing how many steps that I took?
You wanted to complete that ring. Right?
I sure did.
I hear you, girl.
I needed credit for it.
Me too.
So I was like, Andrea, you can do this. You can go home. You can do the thing and it still counts. If it's not counted, this was a bad choice. I've been very unhappy for the last 24 hours.
It's like a gold star.
Yeah.
Right? Like completing and, it will do the ring of fire and it's like, like you completed your ring and it's like, positive reinforcement at its finest. I'm like, I got my gold star today.
I know.
Yay.
I had to do the lawn mowing without counting my steps. And then I went and lifted this morning without having my watch on. And I feel very disoriented. But I just want to say that I 100% count a busy day as exercise, but like Jess said, it is not something that we want if it's just because you kind of lost your space as a human in your home since having kids, right?
And I want to elaborate because I kind of want to not necessarily retract, but edit my previous statement about house cleaning and working out and whatnot. Here's the deal. In Tuesday's episode, was very clear on the importance of exercise and movement from a mental health standpoint, feeling good. So if this woman cleans her house for an hour and she's got her endorphins going and she feels really good, great. We can call that exercise. But if you're angry and you're stressed and you're frustrated as you're scrubbing those floors or scrubbing that counter, it's not exercise. It is movement. But it's not for your mental health. In fact, it could be doing the exact opposite, causing more cortisol in your body.
Yeah. And as you know, Jess and I are both prone to rage cleaning, if you've listened to our last couple of weeks. So rage cleaning is probably not helping you as much. And it might be that you're not getting to exercise in a way that you like because you're stuck cleaning, because you have too much on your plate versus everybody else in your household. And so that's that. So we had a number of other women mention that because of kids and the busy life, they do get up early to get the workout in. And I wonder what you think about that.
Well, I would be pot calling the kettle black if I said anything other, because that's what I have to do too.
Right.
I agree with that. I have to start my day with it. And because of kids, then it has to be really early. I, though, have to prioritize sleep and when I go to sleep.
Right.
So if I'm going to get up early, that's fine, but I've got to make time to go to bed at a decent time so that I'm sleeping. Sleep comes first.
Yeah, I do find that because I don't want to miss my workout, that can get me in bed. If otherwise I might.
Same.
Yeah. Because if I will tell myself as I'm getting in bed, like, you have now missed your workout because you need enough sleep, and that makes me sad. And so,
that's how I like prioritize things at the end of the day a lot, right? Where it's, okay, I could go and sit at my computer and finish this one last thing, but that means I'll get X amount of hours of sleep, and I know that's not going to be good if I want to get up and get a workout in. So it really helps prioritize. I often will go to sleep and put that thing on my list the next day so that I can get up in the morning. But I think that's just, it kind of is, it's a season though too. You don't, when your kids are younger, I know my friends with older kids, as their kids get older, they're not getting up as early to work out. So it's also just kind of a season thing.
Yeah. I do just want to gut check though. One thing I noticed when my kids were really young is that I felt like any time for me, including for exercise, needed to be in the margins of the day. I used to joke with my husband that I was a vampire who was only allowed to be out like in the dark, after the kids had gone to bed or before they wake up. And that's bullshit. That is not good, right? So I get up now in the morning to exercise because if I don't, I won't do it. Like, I don't want to do it after first thing in the morning. I want to go and exercise, take a shower, know that it's done. That's when I want to go. But if I felt like I couldn't go during the day because everybody else needs me, like, I don't love that.
No, I agree with you on that. I think I used to work out during the nap time, like that morning nap time. And then even in the afternoon nap time, that would be when I would work out. However, I probably should have just sat down sometimes.
So you're saying this isn't a new thing?
I didn't. Trap. I
didn't trap you. You just walked right into it.
Walked right into it. Yes.
Just noticing. I'm just reflecting back.
Maybe been a problem since as long as I can remember. Yes. Yes, folks.
We had another woman in our Facebook community say, had a baby and all of a sudden I think I'm a runner. I just signed up for my first half. And I think it's just my own mental escape and trying to find my competitive athletic side again. I just want to say,
you go,
bravo.
Girl.
Yes.
I was like, I hope you're going. Yes. Sometimes that's a motivation you need. Actually, right after my daughter was born, so there was a small window of time before we had kids that my husband and I did triathlons together. It was the first time I got into exercise, actually, was doing those triathlons. And then we would do halves in 10Ks. So after my first, to get back into that, I signed up for a 10K. And it was, what I will say, it was great to get me moving again and to give myself a reason to get moving. I will say I maybe tried to do it too fast. So be careful with that.
Yeah, I was always a 0 to hero with running. I do not run consistently. I sign up for a race and then I start training according to that race. I have not been able to do that recently with just, I don't know. I feel like
I can't run.
My bones are old now. I don't.
Well, it's my joints. It's like, it's just the joints, and I've had a knee done. I've got a rod in the other leg. Like, it's just too much on my joints. And I think sometimes when we're talking about exercise and us women, you have to just figure out what works for you. My joints just don't allow me to do that high impact running, which stinks because I actually did enjoy doing it for the small time I did. But it's also about just finding what works for you, whether it's Pilates, whether it's yoga, whether it's, a boot camp of sorts. Or if it's walking, jogging, it's what works for you.
Yeah, and knowing that that's going to change over time. And that doesn't mean that you're becoming less than you used to be or that you're lazy, like you used to be athletic and now you're not. There's a lot of wisdom in getting to know your body through all of the seasons. And as women, our bodies change wildly over our lifetime. And it's so important to go, what feels good now, right? What am I aiming towards? Like I'm aiming towards wanting to have good mobility and longevity. I don't want to like bust out my knees then. I want to I want to build those glutes, just like that headline I read to you earlier.
Oh my God. Let's do a before and after of a glute work. Like you're building up these glutes, girl.
Yeah, it's I've got a lot going on in the rumpus area, so I think I think you'd be impressed. By the way,
I would.
do your kids say the word "gat"?
Oh gosh.
Okay.
Yeah. Or like Rizzler from Ohio. You get that one?
The Ohio one I'm not on board with, but the "gat" we laugh so hard. Mm-hmm. I love that word. We have so many boys in my house, and the way that boys interact with their bodies is so different than girls. And so they are always showing off their butts. We're like, look at that juicy peach over there. And it's like, it's just very funny. It's a lot more like, peacocks strutting around and just trying to show off their body parts. And I don't hate it. I think it's hilarious. But
I think it's hilarious.
That is a family trait. We've got the juicy peach booties. So
I got to send you this song that my husband found and played for my son. That's all this like GYAT and Rizzler from Ohio and all this like stuff. And like, it's the funniest thing.
Yeah.
It's the funniest thing. But
like,
my son
I got to
will
work
be like,
my GYAT.
Nice GYAT, Mom. And I'm like, Austin, go, stop. What are you talking about?
One last comment from our community that I think is important to touch on. I feel so guilty for barely intentionally working out anymore. I used to run and do yoga, but chasing after my very active toddler leaves me utterly exhausted. I've changed to frequent short walks, and I think it's a mindset shift, that I'm not lazy or not staying in shape because all I'm doing is walking. I hope one day I can get back into working out. I truly do not know how moms with multiple kids fit it in or have the energy. What can we say to our dear friend?
Actually, I think she's spot on. It's a mindset shift. And that's something I had to do when my kids were young and I started working out at home versus going in to the gym, was I had to realize that a 15-minute short little workout or a walk with a stroller was great.
Right.
And it didn't have to be this 1 hour, super intense, sweaty session every single day. And nor should it as we get older. It's a lot of pressure on your heart, on your body, on your joints. It's just about moving to a place where it just feels good.
Right. Yeah, I think you're so right that once we move away from an exercise has to be this particular thing that's this particular intensity and it has to be this long, then we can start to go, all of this counts, and we're just trying to fit what fits the season of life that we're in. So hopefully, our dear friend and member of our community, that you're doing exactly what you need to do right now. And yeah, running after an active toddler is a fuck ton of work. That is so exercise.
Do you remember how big your biceps were when you were lifting them too? And they want to be carried. I mean, even my youngest, who weighs 50 pounds, like wants me to carry him up the stairs. And I'm like, holy moly, this is the biggest cardio workout. And it's fun because then my watch will be like, are you doing a workout? I'm like, no, just going up the stairs. Think so.
I love it. Well, thank you so much to the members of our Honest Women podcast community on Facebook for answering this question. You guys provide such invaluable insight, and we're building a sense of community there. We would love for everyone listening to join us. So look us up on the Facebook and join us there.
The Facebook.
Mm-hmm. And make sure you're following the show so that we can see you next week when we are back discussing another hot topic.